Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is Monday, June 1st. 2 months of the MLB season have already come and gone, and it's been a very profitable MLB season for me and the channel here. If you've been following the picks, you've probably done pretty well, so let's hope to continue that run of success here into June and beyond. And with that, let's get a look at the games for Monday, June 1st. Now, first off, I just want to say that as I'm recording this video on Sunday evening, it looks like got a really good chance to go 9-4 on the picks today, which would put us at 30-13 over the last 43 picks. Pretty impressive stuff, picking up a whole heck of a lot of units this week alone. A 40-13 run, or no, a 30-13 run. 30 wins and 43 bets is a pretty darn good run. So feeling pretty good, feeling pretty confident, and just want to keep the same process. Don't want to change the process, just want to keep everything rolling here into June. So let's get right into it. So first game on the board, we've got the Tigers at the Tampa Bay Rays. The Detroit Tigers at the Tampa Bay Rays. You got Ty Madden up against Griffin Jax. These two starting pitchers are very close in my estimation. Griffin Jax was just converted to a starting pitcher from a relief pitcher. And then you got Ty Madden, who is pretty much a rookie, just making his second start of the year here today on Monday, June 1st. Madden 0-0 with a 2.38 ERA. Jax 1-3 with a 3.60 ERA. And again, I find this starting pitching matchup to be very close. It's hard to split the two. I'd lean Griffin Jax maybe a little bit just because of the experience he has at the big league level. But again, it's very close. Jax has just been converted to a starter. And then Madden, of course, getting his first big league, experience here at the big league level. So hard to get a read on both these guys. So I think there's not really much of a difference between the starting pitchers. When we look at the offenses, it's a huge advantage for the Tampa Bay Rays. They have a 755 OPS in this spot against righties at home. Meanwhile, the Tigers against righties on the road, just a 675 OPS. So huge advantage to the Rays offensively. And the Rays also have the bullpen advantage. The Rays have a much better bullpen than Detroit. Another advantage for the Rays is that Detroit had to travel after their game earlier today. They were in Chicago. They had to travel from Chicago. They played the White Sox this weekend. And they have to go all the way to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay was at home. They beat the Angels. So Tampa Bay is waiting at home, resting, while Detroit has to be on a plane. So it's a huge travel advantage to the Rays as well. Give me the Rays -1. And I believe you can get this, hold on really quickly, Rays -1. At odds of -114, I put 1.2 units. Rays -1, -114, 1.2 units. All right, moving on. Next game on the board for Monday, June 1st, you got the Marlins, the Miami Marlins, up against the Washington Nationals. This game being played in Washington. Sandy Alcantara for the Marlins, Cade Cavalli for the Washington Nationals. And Alcantara has been a guy that we like to target when he goes on the road. He has really been bad on the road. His ERA is up above 6 in his road starts. For the Nationals, Cade Cavalli has been very good at home. The Nationals do have a starting pitching advantage in this spot. Cavalli's been pitching better than Alcantara has been recently, so Cavalli's in better form. He pitches better at home. Alcantara struggles on the road. Also, when we look at the offenses, the Nationals offense in this spot at home against righties, a 740 OPS. The Marlins on the road against righties, a 685 OPS. So huge offensive advantage to the Nationals. The bullpen advantage definitely goes to the Marlins, but overall, when you throw it into a blender, you've got the offensive advantage for the Nationals. You got the starting pitching advantage for the Nationals. Give me the Nationals money line at -135. Another key point is that Miami has to travel into Washington. It's another spot where the Nationals, where the home team has the travel advantage as they are at home already. They played the Padres this weekend, and they played well in that series against San Diego. Meanwhile, the Marlins having to travel from New York to Washington, D.C. So give me the Nationals minus 135 on the money line for 1.2 units. Okay, next up, Royals Reds. This game being played in Cincinnati. You've got the Luinder Avila for the Kansas City Royals. You've got Chase Burns for the Cincinnati Reds. Luinder Avila 0-2 with a 5.06 ERA. Chase Burns 7-1 with a 1.96 ERA. Chase Burns is a legitimate ace in Major League Baseball. Luinder Avila is a guy that isn't even a starting pitcher. So it's a huge starting pitching advantage for the Reds in this spot. And another spot where the home team has the travel advantage. The Reds were at home this weekend. They played very well against the Braves. They actually won on Sunday against the Braves. So they stay home. Meanwhile, the Royals have to travel from, where were the Royals? They were in Texas. So the Royals have to travel from Texas to Cincinnati. It's a travel advantage for the Reds. It's a starting pitching advantage for the Reds. The Royals offense on the road against righties, a 660 OPS. The Reds offense at home against righties, a 705 OPS. Offensive advantage to the Reds. The bullpens are very bad and very close. Both bullpens are just not good. But overall, you got the travel advantage for Cincinnati. You've got the starting pitching advantage for Cincinnati. And you've got the offensive advantage for Cincinnati. Give me the Reds -1. And the odds, I got this one at, one moment, let me pull it up. Reds -1, -118 for 1.2 units. All right, moving on. We head to Minnesota, where it will be the Minnesota Twins hosting the Chicago White Sox. Joe Ryan for the Twins, and then David Sandlin for the White Sox. Sandlin will make his second career start. He is a guy that is very interesting. He made his debut on May 27th, just about 5 days ago, against the Minnesota Twins, through 6 innings of 1-run baseball, giving up just 1 hit. Was dominant. 4 strikeouts, no walks, and he faces the same lineup here in his second career start. So that's a very interesting thing to look at. Joe Ryan, on the other hand, 3-3 with a 2.94 ERA. Joe Ryan, obviously one of the best starting pitchers in the American League for quite a while now at this point. I have to give the starting pitching advantage to the Twins. I think Ryan is more reliable at this point. But don't sleep on David Sandlin. He just shut down this Minnesota Twins offense just a week ago, and he completely shut them down. So do not sleep on him. When we look at the offenses, the Twins offense at home against righties, a 715 OPS, and then the White Sox on the road against righties, a 705 OPS. Very, very close in terms of the offenses. And in the bullpens, I give an advantage to the White Sox. All their heavy hitters, Jordan Leisure, Grant Taylor, Sir Anthony Dominguez will all be available out of that pen. White Sox are huge underdogs, plus 142. I do not think that should be the case. The White Sox have been red hot. They're above 500. They've won 5 games in a row. Meanwhile, the Twins are going the opposite direction. I think David Sandlin can keep this game very tight and competitive early on against Joe Ryan. We saw David Sandlin shut down this Twins offense last week, and I don't see any difference between these two offenses, and I give a bullpen advantage to the White Sox. So for me, at plus 142, I'm getting the hotter team. Yeah, give me the White Sox all day long. White Sox money line, plus 142, 0.7 units. Okay, moving on to the next game, we got the San Francisco Giants and the Milwaukee Brewers in Milwaukee. Landon Rupp for the Giants. And then for the Brewers, I have Kyle Harrison going. I have to give a starting pitching advantage to the Milwaukee Brewers and Kyle Harrison here. He has been fantastic this season. Just go ahead and take a look at the numbers. Landon Rupp has been very good himself, but I give Harrison the advantage, especially at home. The Brewers offense has the offensive advantage. They've got a 710 OPS at home against righties. Meanwhile, the Giants on the road against lefties, a 685 OPS. And then the bullpen advantage also goes to the Brewers. The Brewers' money line is the play here, minus 135. The Giants having to travel to Milwaukee from Colorado. The Brewers traveled to Milwaukee from Houston, so no travel advantage in that game. I just think the Brewers are the much better team with the better starting pitcher, the better offense, and the better bullpen. So, yeah, give me the Brewers money line, minus 135 for 1.2 units. Next up, the Rangers and the Cardinals. This game being played in St. Louis. Jacob deGrom against Michael McGreevy. DeGrom 3-4 with a 3.77 ERA so far this year for the Rangers, but he has struggled on the road. His ERA is above 6 on the road this year. His last 3 starts on the road have been horrible. I'm not going to pull them up right now. You know what? All right, screw it. I'll pull. You know what? No, I'm not going to pull them up right now, but just, go look at them. His last 3 starts on the road have been terrible. Meanwhile, Michael McGreevy has been phenomenal at home. A whip right around 1. The ERA is below 2, I believe, for him at home this year. So I think that the starting pitching matchup is very close. I know the pedigree that Jacob deGrom carries. He's a very good starting pitcher. Michael McGreevy's kind of a unknown guy that's, kind of breaking onto the scene here in 2026. A lot of people probably don't know who he is. I personally think McGreevy can hang tough with deGrom in this spot. So I make the starting pitching matchup very close. And also, McGreevy's in better form right now than Jacob deGrom is. Offensively, I think it's very close. The Rangers on the road against righties, a 730 team OPS. And the Cardinals at home against righties, a 710 team OPS. So very close. Maybe a slight advantage to the Rangers. But the travel advantage goes to the Cardinals. The Cardinals are at home today. And the Rangers have to travel from Texas to St. Louis late in the evening. So, travel advantage to the Cardinals. Bullpen advantage. Bullpens are very close. Both bullpens are very, very close. I don't have any edge in anywhere in this game, to be honest with you. I don't think that either team has an edge in starting pitching. I think the offenses are very, very tight. I think the bullpens are very, very tight. So I think having a travel advantage with the Cardinals, and I'm getting plus money, plus 106 with St. Louis, give me the Cardinals all day long. I think McGreevy will hang tough with deGrom here. deGrom's been very bad on the road this season. McGreevy's been very good at home this season. The offenses are pretty much a wash, and the bullpens are pretty much a wash. So give me the Cardinals with the travel advantage at plus 106 on the money line for 1 unit. Okay, Rockies-Angels. This game being played in Anaheim. I will be in attendance at this game. Huge starting pitching advantage for the Angels. Jose Soriano on the mound up against Kyle Freeland. Kyle Freeland this year for the Rockies, a 1-6 record, 8.08 ERA. Jose Soriano 6-4 with a 2.65 ERA. The Angels have a huge starting pitching advantage. Offensively, it's very close. I'd say it's right about even. As far as the offenses go, Rockies 685 OPS on the road against righties. Angels 670 OPS at home against lefties. Not much of an edge either way. I think it's very close in terms of offenses. And then when you get to the bullpens, again, I think the bullpens are roughly even. I don't see any big disparity when it comes to the bullpens. Both are very, very bad. So 2 of the worst teams in Major League Baseball, but the Angels at home with, their best starting pitcher on the mound and a guy who's been very good all year long. Give me the Angels at the -1. Angels -1 at odds of -140. Angels -1, -140 for 1.2 units. Moving on. We will head to Arizona. We're going to head to Arizona where the Los Angeles Dodgers will take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. It's Emmett Sheehan for the Dodgers, Eduardo Rodriguez for the Diamondbacks. Sheehan this year 3-1 with a 4.70 ERA. Rodriguez 5-1 with a 2.31 ERA. For me, Rodriguez holds a significant starting pitching advantage in this spot. He has been lights out at home this year. Rodriguez at home this season. Let me pull up the numbers because I want to illustrate my point a little bit deeper. This guy at home this year has a 1.3 ERA with a 0.90 whip. He has been dominant at home. Meanwhile, Sheehan on the road has been garbaggio. It's been horrible. Sheehan on the road this season in 4 starts, a 6.52 ERA and a 1.55 whip. So for me, Rodriguez has a starting pitching advantage here. Now, obviously, the Dodgers have a big offensive advantage. 790 OPS for the Dodgers on the road against lefties, and the D-backs have a 715 OPS at home against righties. Bullpen advantage goes to the Dodgers. This is going to be a very interesting game. I think it's going to be tight early on. I think the D-backs actually could get a lead early on in this game. I think Eduardo Rodriguez stifles the Dodgers' bats early in this game. And I think the D-backs can get some runs off of Sheehan. So I think the D-backs find themselves in the lead early. I actually like the Arizona Diamondbacks on the money line in the first 5 innings. I did not play that, though. I played the Arizona Diamondbacks plus 1.5 runs at minus 125 for 1.2 units. I think this is a game where it's going to be really close. I think the Dodgers could certainly win the game, but I don't think that there's a lot of situations where they win this game by a lot of runs. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be tight. D-backs are playing good baseball right now. They are kind of nipping at the heels of the Dodgers in that NL West. And yeah, I think the D-backs are alive in this spot. So yeah, I mean, with the starting pitching advantage, it's hard for me to get to the Dodgers on the money line. So yeah, give me the Diamondbacks plus 1.5 runs, minus 125 for 1.2 units. And then last but not least, we got the Mets visiting the Seattle Mariners. This game taking place, obviously, in Seattle. Emerson Hancock for the Mariners, and then it'll be Sean Manaea following Austin Warren. So Manaea will be the bulk reliever. Warren will be the opener. And it's a huge starting pitching advantage for the Mariners in this spot. Hancock 4-2 with a 2.78 ERA. Manaea, who's going to do the bulk of the work for the Mets, has an ERA in the mid-5s. He's been terrible this year, especially on the road. So huge pitching advantage for the Mariners. Offensively, I give the Mariners an advantage as well. I do give the Mariners a slight offensive advantage. And then when we look at the bullpens, yeah, I think Seattle also has the advantage. Now, another thing we have to take into account, the Mets played a game this weekend on Sunday in New York. They have to travel from New York all the way to Seattle, across the country, overnight, and then they have to play Seattle on Monday. Terrible travel spot for the Mets. Give me the Mariners on the money line, minus 135 for 1.2 units. All right, let's recap the video and go over the plays one last time here today. And just one reminder, we are now 30-13 in our last 43 plays in the MLB, on fire right now this week. First play for Monday, June 1st, Rays -1. Rays -1 at minus 114 for 1.2 units. Next up, we got the Nationals money line, minus 135 for 1.2 units. Then we're going to take the Reds -1, minus 118 for 1.2 units. Then we'll take the Brewers money line, minus 135 for 1.2 units. Then we'll take the White Sox money line at plus 142 for 0.7 units. Then we'll take the Angels -1 at minus 140 for 1.2 units. Then it will be the Diamondbacks plus 1.5 runs at minus 125 for 1.2 units. We'll take the Cardinals money line at plus 106 for 1 unit. And then we'll round out the night with the Mariners money line minus 135 for 1.2 units. Again, 30 wins in our last 43 plays, feeling really confident, feeling really good about things. And we're going to look to continue those good feelings into next week, or into this week. Let's go. Let's have a strong Monday, June 1st. Hope you guys all do well. Good luck out there. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.